Daring, bold, and often reckless, Paddy Mayne was known for hurling himself into danger during World War II to save his comrades. He single-handedly took over towns and destroyed airfields from the back of a jeep, showing an extraordinary disregard for personal safety. Paddy Mayne's story includes everything from defying authority to becoming one of the British Army's most decorated soldiers. In March 1939, just 6 months before the outbreak of World War II, he joined the Supplementary Reserve in Northern Ireland, receiving a commission in the Royal Artillery. Educated at Queen's University, Mayne was an ideal recruit, with accolades in both academics and sports, having been an amateur heavyweight boxing champion and a player for the international Irish rugby team. World War II abruptly ended his legal and sporting ambitions. After receiving training at the Queen's University Officer Training Corps, SIS, Paddy was transferred to the Royal Ulster Rifles. However, he soon opted to volunteer for No. 11 Scottish Commando. Inspired by Winston Churchill's call for a specialized force to operate behind enemy lines, Paddy eagerly joined the small raiding unit, prepared to infiltrate occupied territory and carry out demolitions and night raids against the enemy. In June 1941, Mayne got his first taste of battle at the Litani River in Lebanon. The commando's mission was to assist the 21st Australian Brigade in crossing the river to reach Beirut. Unfortunately, rough seas delayed the commandos, and by the time they landed, the Vichy French had already destroyed the bridges and were engaged in heavy combat with the Australians. The commandos suffered severe losses, including their commander, which led to Mayne leaving the unit, frustrated with the outcome. Soon after, Mayne was recruited by Captain David Stirling to join a new elite force, what would become the Special Air Service, SAS. Stirling offered him a choice: continue guerrilla warfare in China or join the SAS, where they would parachute into North Africa and launch surprise attacks on German airfields. Mayne chose the latter, drawn to the daring operations Stirling had in mind. From late 1941 through 1942, Mayne and his SAS comrades wreaked havoc on German airfields in North Africa. Conducting night raids from jeeps, they destroyed aircraft, fuel depots, and communication lines, severely crippling the Afrika Korps. It was believed that Mayne himself was responsible for destroying around 100 enemy aircraft. During one raid on the Temet airfield, Mayne and his men planted explosives on several planes, causing extensive damage. He led similar successful missions throughout the desert, including a raid on the Sidi Hanish airfield, where 40 German aircraft were destroyed. Mayne's leadership and tactical brilliance were instrumental in shaping the early success of the Special Air Service, SAS, during a critical period of uncertainty. At a time when many in the British High Command viewed the SAS as a risky experiment, Mayne's daring operations and unique ability to think outside conventional military doctrine were vital for ensuring the unit's survival. His unorthodox strategies, such as small-scale raids conducted under cover of darkness, inflicted disproportionate damage on enemy resources, disrupted Axis supply lines, and demoralized enemy forces. These successes silenced detractors and prevented the disbandment of the SAS, ensuring it would become one of the most feared Special Forces units in military history. By 1943, after the capture of Captain David Stirling, one of the SAS's founding members, Paddy Mayne was entrusted with command of the Special Raiding Squadron. His leadership came at a pivotal time as the Allies prepared to invade Italy and Sicily. Mayne orchestrated several high-stakes assaults against entrenched enemy positions. In one of his most daring operations, he led the capture of critical artillery batteries and secured the strategically important town of Augusta on the eastern coast of Sicily. His tactical acumen and bravery resulted in the capture of over 450 enemy prisoners, while neutralizing hundreds more. For his actions, Mayne received the first of 3 bars to his Distinguished Service Order, DSO, one of the highest military honors in the British Army. As the war progressed, Mayne's role within the SAS expanded. He took command of the reformed 1st SAS Regiment, leading them in operations across the European theater. Under Mayne's leadership, the SAS played a crucial role in the Allied push through France and Germany, employing guerrilla-style tactics to disrupt enemy supply lines and support advancing infantry. His tactical ingenuity allowed his regiment to operate deep behind enemy lines, inspiring loyalty and confidence among his men. One of Maine's most legendary actions occurred in April 1945 during the final stages of the war in northern Germany. As the 4th Canadian Armored Division advanced, Maine learned that British soldiers were pinned down by German forces near Oldenburg. Without hesitation, he jumped into his jeep and raced to their rescue. In a display of unmatched courage, Maine stormed enemy positions under heavy fire. Armed with only a sidearm and later commandeering a machine gun, he cleared houses occupied by German soldiers, rescuing the wounded and leading a counterattack. Despite overwhelming odds, Maine's relentless assault broke the German resistance, allowing trapped soldiers to escape. He then captured Oldenburg by outflanking the remaining defenders. His actions earned him another DSO, though many believed he deserved the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest military honor for gallantry. Despite his extraordinary achievements, the end of the war marked a difficult chapter in Maine's life. Like many soldiers, he found the transition to civilian life challenging. His war experiences, coupled with a fiery temperament, led to bouts of heavy drinking and increased isolation. He often retreated into books to escape pressures, but his struggles with alcohol deepened over the years. Friends recalled his quick temper, particularly after drinking, which strained his relationships. Tragically, Maine's decline culminated in his untimely death. In the early hours of December 13, 1955, after a night of drinking in Bangor, he set out for home in his Riley Roadster. At around 4 a.m., his car collided with a farmer's vehicle, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. His passing shocked the military community. Hundreds mourned the loss of a man who had been one of Britain's most celebrated war heroes. Paddy Maine's legacy is a testament to the complex nature of heroism. On the battlefield, he was fearless, determined, and ready to face impossible odds. Off the battlefield, he grappled with the psychological toll of his experiences, struggling to find peace in a world without war. Despite his challenges, his larger-than-life persona and exceptional leadership left an indelible mark on those who knew him and those who study his life today. Maine's story continues to inspire, not just for his wartime exploits, but also for the humanity and vulnerability that lay behind his legendary feats.